The crypto space is a massive area. We are all exploring it together. With this in mind, remember, there is no perfect solution. This podcast is a discussion and is not meant to be a guide for you to make any decisions. We are only talking about the technology that may help you in the crypto space. Now, it's time for the intro music.
Welcome to WTF is CryptoSpace. I'm Brett.
And I'm Chad.
This podcast is all about the crypto space.
Well, it's been a week, and it's now into the next week, so we decided we'd join you here for something to do, I guess, for you guys and us. So welcome.
We now have over 1,800 downloads, Chuddles.
Nice. That's really good, guys.
And I want to give a shout out, as we do, to the highest ranked town for the week, Saskatoon in Canada.
Saskatoon in town. Okay, well, I'm always like the underdog. Who came second?
Ottawa. Ottawa also ranked for Canada, so we nailed first and second place for Canada.
Yeah,
and
now
coming
bronze.
in third, Auckland, New Zealand, which is pretty impressive.
Oh, New Zealanders, the guys from across the ditch. Hey, welcome and thank you for representing yourselves on this podcast.
We're going to have a huge discussion today, Chad. We're going to talk about Litecoin. And the thing for me is that Litecoin is really starting to get fuel to take off.
Okay. So quickly, because we used to do this a lot, I'm just going to ask a question and you tell me if it's true or not. Bitcoin is a coin, and then every other coin besides Bitcoin is an altcoin or a token.
Ooh.
So if is that true?
Yeah, that's true-ish.
Okay. So is Litecoin just a helium-infused Bitcoin?
Not quite. Litecoin...
That's a joke I wrote. I wrote that joke. Thank you very much. Send your complaints to @ChadShuttleMuso. And on with the show.
Litecoin is 4 times faster than Bitcoin.
That's right, 4 times. So if you do 10 minutes, it's a 2.5 minutes roundabout.
Yes, there's four times as many tokens.
That's right. So it's
84
million possible 21 million possible
and
Bitcoin. So
you've got what, 8.4 million of those, John? Close.
Stashed away. Yeah.
On one of those thrown away computers. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. It's floated up in the hemisphere because it was on Litecoin. No, and that's just bullshit. All right, so we're discussing today some Litecoin, Brett. So you brought up some articles to talk about.
Yeah, look, there's a couple of things. We're going to talk about 2 coins today. We're going to talk about Litecoin, and we're also going to talk about another one that people haven't quite heard of too much, but it really is impressive, and that's called Vertcoin, Vertcoin, and the symbol is VTC. So like BTC is Bitcoin and LTC is Litecoin, then Vertcoin is VTC, which is like the bronze.
If it's hard to understand our accent, V as in veal and B as in beef. So BTC, VTC, just the V is very young. It's a young version of the beef. Is that veal? Is that how food works? Anyway, back to what you were saying. I can't remember what you were saying.
Well, so we're talking about how Litecoin is going to whoop some Bitcoin ass.
That's right. Witching.
Okay, so in this next month, there's some huge aspects or features that are coming for Litecoin. And you can see from an awesome couple of conversations that Charlie Lee, that's Satoshi Lite.
Satoshi Lite, that's right. Yeah, we talked about him a few weeks ago.
Absolutely. His Twitter handle is Satoshi Lite.
Which makes sense.
Yep, absolutely. Exactly. So there's some pretty cool stuff. They've got the Lightning Network. Now, the Lightning Network is now in the test network, and they're actually about to start doing some transactions on the mainnet very, very shortly. And that is exciting stuff. When they start doing that, you will definitely see a boost in the price. You can see that there'll be a boost in the price. But more importantly, and this is the key, is that there'll be an increase in the value. You reckon it's 4 times faster than Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
this will kick its ass. I mean, the thing is, you don't go to a coffee shop and go, yeah, you know what? I want to spend $4.50 on Bitcoin transaction fees and buy a coffee that's only worth $4.
That's true.
Oh, and
That's
you
true,
know
so
what?
it's an
And I'll
$8
pick up my
then.
coffee next week because I have to wait for the transaction to go through.
That's pretty much, yeah. Yep, that's how that works.
Litecoin,
That's how that all works.
you can nail it. And look, and we were talking about last week, and I know that we'll be talking about this as the episodes roll on, but for us, Chad, I mean, we were talking about Litecoin, and two coins that really impressed me is Litecoin and Dash. Because the thing about Bitcoin is Bitcoin's a great store of wealth. It's a really great store of wealth. But as we expand and as the crypto space expands and it moves on from all of us early innovators and that early 1%, then as we go on and this space grows, it's one of those things that more and more people are going to want to do transactions with the ecospace, the whole ecosystem of the crypto space, and people are going to start to do transactions. Now, naturally, you want to spend your crappy fiat dollars first if you get the chance. But as the commerce expands and we move on, you're going to have people doing transactions in this. Now, you need some sort of speed of transaction, and Litecoin and Dash both have the speed covered, and they also both have a good, strong understanding of what they offer as a product.
Yeah.
But something that Litecoin has is it will be an awesome point of sale, so it will really go after that payment sector. So where Bitcoin is at top level of that wealth, you can see point of sale systems coming out and being written with Litecoin very, very shortly. Probably early next year, I would say. Especially if they marry up with Pillar Token, that would be fantastic. That would just
So we're going to see a lot of Litecoins at the posers.
Yeah, lots of little baby Litecoins.
At the posers, the posers, point of sale and electronic registers. Bam, poser. I came over here for abbreviations and I found them.
You're just Googling abbreviations around
No, I just made that up off the top of my dome, quite seriously. Everyone, I will write your scripts for you. So Litecoin's going pretty good. In comparison to the Australian dollar, it's around this week, as we're recording this, it's around the $70 to $80 mark, which is good, which is a good price. But I'm looking at the actual over the past 7 days, we're seeing sort of a slow up and then a huge up and then a slowly plateau, then a massive just climb. So it seems like it's going up.
So one of the things, up in the top left-hand corner, Chad, if you click on, so this is coinmarketcap.com, if you click on the one that says the currencies, you'll see the 1 hour, the 24 hour, and the 7-day percentage change.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, but Litecoin, what's the figure, Chattels?
Good question. What is the figure, Brett?
34.7% for a 7-day change.
It's huge. Huge.
Yeah, but Bitcoin's only 12.43%.
Now, as you said, like Bitcoin is steadily growing, and if you do have money in that, it's cool. But sometimes there's a lot of these lower end coins, lower end quotation marks, lower end, easier entry level ones who they are starting to get a little bit more movement, a little bit more percentage in them.
Yeah, look,
because it's starting to do that.
You make a good point. But one of the hardest things about, I guess, investing or looking at this is that you really should look at what you think has the most value. Now, Litecoin has history, okay?
Yeah.
For a long time, Litecoin was number 2 in the game, and it will go back to being 2 or 3 in the not-too-distant future. You can see that. And,
absolutely. See the growth.
And so it's something about it is that you said about the entry price. Now, people look at Bitcoin and they say, okay, well, it's, 4,000 and it's trying to tap out past that 4.4, right? And so the key problem is that people talk in Bitcoin and they go, oh, look, I can't buy Bitcoin because I can't afford a Bitcoin. It's $4,400 US, right? Which for those playing at home in Oz is just ridiculous. That's 5,000
something. Yeah, 5,500.
And look, and the thing about that is that you say, okay, well, in order to go forward, you need some features. Okay, so we need the speed, we need those transactions. But one of the cool things is that Charlie Lee and the team at Litecoin have actually come up with denominations that are in there. So you know how we've got Satoshis for Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
Well, there are smaller denominations called lights. Okay, and then obviously you've got it goes even smaller than that, the 1/1 millionth. But both the
microlights, firelights,
barbecue lights,
barbecue lights, and then it goes all the way down to little baby lights.
For those playing at home, I don't think that is actually what they're called. No,
probably not. Again, we don't condone or condone.
Don't give
anything.
babies lights. Okay, so
don't give baby lights.
So with Litecoin, because it's got the smaller denomination, as the value increases and thus the price increases as well, you're going to find people will be like, oh, cool, I can afford that. It's only $6.20, or, it's only 62 cents for a light, right? Which is part of a Litecoin. And so people are going to, so suddenly, again, it's got another feature priming it up. Now, the other cool thing about this particular currency is that it's looking into the future. When I said about the Lightning Network, it's going to have really fast speeds, but it's also going to have in the future what's called atomic swaps. Ask me what atomic swaps are.
I will ask you what atomic swaps are. Brett, what are atomic swaps?
That's a good question. Thank you for taking a couple of moments while
See, that's why I asked it, because I knew it was going to be a good question.
So atomic swaps, really easy, is that you can switch between two currencies. Now, this pushes away the need for some of the centralized exchanges, right?
Yes.
So, and that's a really good opportunity because...
However, we have to tell them something, that there's two little adverbs at the end of this. You can trade them directly and instantly. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Without risk of one party running off with the money.
Let's say you had $100,000 of Bitcoin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, okay, well, the fees on that might be up to $30, depending on... Now, I'm not saying that's always a transaction and people will correct it, but the idea is that it can get up to that high, depending on when you do the transaction and all that.
Yep.
Well, suddenly you go, you know what? Actually, Litecoin's looking okay today. I might flick into Litecoin, do my transaction, then flick back into BTC, right?
Yeah, yes.
And so because you've got that option, it means that the speed of transaction or the need for these other currencies will really be a great thing.
Do you reckon with all this, it's going to speed up and speed up and speed up to the point where it is almost inevitable that the point of sale systems will use, say, Litecoin or Dash or that sort of stuff?
As the fiat money system dies, abso-frigging-lutely.
That slow, deserved death.
Bleeding. It's like a dead corpse. Just
bleeding like a dead corpse on the path of humanity and the history of existence.
It's like the zombie. That is the true zombie, isn't it?
It is. Honestly, it's a true zombie because it's artificial and it shouldn't be alive, even though everyone keeps propping it up. So it's definitely a zombie.
And I tell you what, it is trying to parasitically attack everybody. So
absolutely. But
the other thing is that, and this is the bit that really interests me, is that Vertcoin, Vertcoin, is going to be the second atomic swap chain.
Okay.
Now,
so it's going to be the one that instantly moves between the two, and that's okay.
Okay, so let me just give you an idea. Okay, you got a currency called Litecoin, which is going to be which is currently 62 US, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen to Vertcoin when it's less than $1?
I don't know. What's going to happen to Vertcoin when it's less than $1?
Okay, so let's go to the market cap. So the market cap of Litecoin is 3,282,000,000, etc., right?
6, 7, 1, 4. Yes.
Great. A few dollars. Now, when you scroll down, hang on, I'm just trying to find it. Where the hell did it go?
It went everywhere.
I lost it.
It went everywhere because it's on a decentralized network. It went everywhere.
Thank you, Chad, for clarifying that. I was
too easy, and also I was covering the dead space. Yes.
So, Vertcoin is $32 million.
$32 million. Yep.
Okay.
What's the current sort of?
So hang on. No, what I'm trying to say is, in a day, there's only $2,484,000 of Vertcoin turnover.
Yeah.
What happens when they start flowing money through there and people are going to be using Vertcoin as an atomic swap token?
Is Vertcoin like Veritisimal, or I've got those two confused?
No, Veritisium. We'll sort of talk back. We'll catch up on that one as probably in November, December, as they sort of start to release some more tech. Mind you, he is going to probably release some more stuff this September.
I've also got another couple of questions about the doggy coin that I saw today because I went through, but I'll ask them a bit later. So Vertcoin.
Yeah, look, and the thing about Vertcoin is it already has a lot of the Litecoin features and a couple more. So it has one-click Vertcoin mining, which is means that it's ASIC proof, which means you can mine it. It's really about the people being able to use the technology, be able to access the network. Then you've got, so that's the decentralized mining approach. Then you've got it's got segregated witness activated, and that activated in May early on. It's got the Lightning Network. It's in alpha stage now.
Yeah.
It's got web wallet. It's got stealth addresses. Man, this thing is, and this is kicking ass. And then it's got atomic cross chain, which is for the Litecoin. And the reason I say Vertcoin is a big thing is because it's in the Litecoin roadmap.
Okay, so what do you mean by roadmap?
Okay, so there is at the top of Satoshi Light's Twitter page, you'll find his already got he set out what he's going to do in the next couple of years, and so that's twitter.com, right? Twitter, TWIT. Yeah, but you're doing Satoshi Light.
Oh, Satoshi Light, right? With the Satoshi. So, Brett, when you were just talking about the features of Vertcoin, you said Lightning Network. I've heard that mentioned. It's like LN, right? What does that mean for us?
Okay, so it's an off-chain layer. Okay. So what that means is that, as you can appreciate, when you're doing these transactions, and you might have hundreds and heaps of thousands of transactions, if all those transactions go through the block at that exact same moment, what happens is that the block of data will fill up with these transactions, and therefore they will have to be set back to the previous block, which changes the speed time and pushes back the actual transaction. Now, if you have a particular scenario where you've got a number of transactions that will take place off-chain, they can take place, and then the balance of those can then end up back on the blockchain, or those transactions will end up on the blockchain at a separate interval point in time. That way, therefore, not slowing down the network at the particular point in time, which is why it is a speed aspect.
Okay. Oh, that's good. So lightning, as fast as lightning, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And so,
nice. All right. Yeah, go. Continue as you were.
Yeah. Thanks, Chad. So with Litecoin, the reason I say it's going to really set up, and it is setting up for a good run, we've had a great percentage of gain. Now, you said before there was a good increase in the total price in US dollars or Australian dollars. But one of the things that's really important is that you look at it in terms or value against BTC. So one of the hardest bits is to get in our mind to stop talking in Australian dollars or US dollars and start talking or measuring our wealth based in BTC, right?
Yes.
So in order to do that, you say, okay, well, it went from 0.2 to 0.1. Sorry, my correction, 0.02 to 0.01. So it halved in the last period, in the last sort of 6 weeks.
And that's of what, sorry?
Beg your pardon?
That's what? That's it halved? Halved?
Sure. It halved in value against BTC.
Okay.
LTC, sorry. So Litecoin halved in value against BTC in the last 6 weeks.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean for a moment that necessarily Litecoin had halved in its value. It just halved in price. Right? But what has happened is that a number of things have happened in the world which has increased the price of Bitcoin. But Litecoin never traveled at the same pace, and that's the thing. One of the things that's important for me is that my crypto folio is balanced out. Now, I might have a couple of crypto coins or altcoins that I think are going to do well next year as the crypto space expands. A good example of that is Salt Token, which will be just a brilliant lending platform when that starts to trade in the not too distant future, but I don't plan on selling it because I plan on using the product. But anyway, that's another time.
Okay.
So one of the things is that I genuinely believe, based on all the data that I've got there, that I can see that the price of Litecoin will increase. Okay. Now, and the reason why is, like I said, it's 4 times faster than Bitcoin. It's got so much more value there at the moment. Its value proposition is higher than what's being put out at the moment with Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't know whether it's coming, it's going through its segregated witness, it's going through all these different issues. Now, it has value and it will continue to have value into the future. I can easily see another $1,000 on Bitcoin from where we are.
Yeah.
Before we
how long do you reckon that's going to take?
Probably, I would say with comfortably another $1,000 to Bitcoin, which is like another 20% from here. Comfortably, probably beginning of October.
Are you serious? Like this year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit, wow, rightio.
But then
that seems.
Yeah, go.
That seems pretty quick. Like, if the it went from it took friggin' 10 years to get to where it is right now. To think that it to go up another 20% in that quicker time, that's pretty interesting. It's good stuff.
Yeah, look, and I think Litecoin will double. Now, the thing is that, and this is the key, and you got to do your own research, but this is the key. The hardest bit is we're still looking at these things as currencies, like I said to you, Chad. If you were to say, okay, let's ignore that it's a currency for a moment, and let's just say it's a technology, okay? And you compared that against the adoption curve of Facebook or the adoption curve of YouTube, for example, and you measured these adoption curves against, or Twitter, how fast that went up, and so, and the thing is that these technologies, people go, oh, well, there's that many users, and we don't think twice about how there's more users to the network.
Yeah.
The network effect and the value of that network is exactly what is causing the price going up.
Yeah.
So the more value proposition a coin or token can offer, the more the price will increase over time. So the best thing that an individual can do is buy some tokens, sit on them.
Yeah.
Don't lose your shirt. Don't go crazy. Don't ever invest any more that you can afford to lose. But then go in, find a position, and say, yes, I like that technology. I think the team are good. The developers are great. Let's get behind them. And I'm going to go and I'm going to buy some of this technology, some of this software.
I think the biggest thing is it comes down to, what can I afford? All right, well, if you do 2 coffees a day, take one of those coffees, $5. Take that $5. At the end of the week, it's going to be $35. Take that $35 and invest it in a Litecoin. There you have half a Litecoin.
Absolutely.
So,
that's good advice. And at the end of the year, you'll have 26 Litecoins. Wow. So the last one I really wanted to point out was that one of the recent articles, and I'll put a link below. Now, early on in this podcast series, we started to talk about how we believe that mining would go countrywide, right? And it would start to be, which is again...
global.
It will go global, absolutely. Well, Russia is getting into Bitcoin mining.
Well, if Russia gets into it, because you know that in Russia, Bitcoin mines you. Is that a cricket? As you were, sorry.
The really cool thing about the whole Russia space is that they are going to have a huge expansion. Those guys in China, they're all expanding with the new Silk Road, where they're trying to bring 1 billion people online, and it is just huge, massive economic growth in that sector. In that country. But the key is that they're taking this seriously, this technology. Now, if you've got a country getting into it, and you've got to compete, and look, we did put a podcast out a few weeks ago about mining. If Russia and a country are getting behind mining, it is going to get tougher and tougher to get Bitcoin. The technology, the energy that's required to get Bitcoin now is about $1,200 per coin that needs in terms of energy, right? Which is where it gets its value from. So the key is, like I said, I put an article below, but there is a surplus. They're mining at country level. And like I said, Bitcoin, you would hold it, because it is a strategic global asset going forward. And if you've got any portion of a Bitcoin, it's worth holding on to it, because guess what? It's rarer than, well, it's about 1,000 times rarer than gold.
Yeah. It's, wow. Okay.
Statistically.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah, we're still finding gold. We're never going to find any more than 21 million.
Well, look, if they
Bitcoin.
if they just go for a walkabout in the Grand Canyon, they might end up finding a few tons.
Bitcoin.
So yeah, so that's it. Okay. That's what I said, and we had that hit from us a few weeks ago. We said yes, it'll go up, it'll go down, but we definitely know that Bitcoin mining is going to start to happen at a global level.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Like us once, comment twice, and share the link of our podcast on your social medias and websites. Brett, we have a landing page coming up in the next week or two for the website. Am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And we're going to have a form on there, and where you guys can sign up. Send us your email. We'll give you some information. We'll send you out the latest. We'll give you more notes. There'll be a lot more in that about each podcast. It'll have our detailed notes in there. But if you don't want to do that, or you
Chad may even include an air guitar in the first episode.
I will include that. We also got some more projects happening here at the WTF CryptoSpace, like video projects. We're going to have some theme writing, because I'm a musician. We're going to do some writing and stuff like that. There's going to be so many things. So you're going to get that on that newsletter. So go over to WTFCryptospace.com in the next couple of weeks. Is that right, Brett?
Absolutely. But as soon as it comes, we will break it here first.
First here, right here on the podcast. Remember, you can always tweet Brett at WTF CryptoSpace, and you can ask me questions at Chad Shuttle Muso.
Remember, review this podcast and give it a 5-star rating on iTunes. If you are on YouTube, hit that like button.
Smack!
It really encourages us to keep creating awesome podcasts for your listening pleasure.
Also, click subscribe to this podcast to get your weekly podcast updates from us knuckleheads, and you'll get it in your podcast feed every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But until next time, I'm Chad.
And I'm Brett.
Let's get excited about the crypto space.
The transition has begun.
Do, 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 do.